Alright, you guys should be able to hear me. Hopefully I'm loud and clear. Go pop down into our Linux chat here. Make sure Ranger, yep, okay, good. That's rotating like it should be. I am going to be co-working, meaning that I'm just over here in my other window that you guys can't see, kind of hanging out and working on stuff. If you guys have any Linux questions or anything you want to talk about, feel free to do so. My voice sounded just fine until a few seconds ago. Now I sound terrible, so that's great. I just had a big sneezing fit too. So we'll just see how it goes. We're not working super hard right now though. We're just kind of doing what we need to do, getting the system going. Alright, so you guys can feel free to ask me anything you want. I've got some stuff up there where I can stop and drop into a shell if we need to and do any kind of, checkout stuff that we might need. Also, I have this other view over here where my thoughts were, I actually think I need to rename these because I think I kind of messed this up. Let me do a couple things real quick. Pop out that chat and pop out this chat. There we go. Alright. I'm going to put them on the chatting one here, so if you guys want to talk or do any of that stuff. Where the heck is my... That's frustrating. Alright. Adding sources. How's it going, Assad? Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. We're going to call this Twitch chat. We are going to grab the Twitch chat. We'll go throw that over here. So if you guys want to talk to each other over here, you can. Boom. There's Twitch. And then we'll pull out also the other chat, which is, we're going to call that YouTube chat. Don't worry, I won't be moving this stuff around too much once I set it up because there's no reason to. Once I have it all set up, I'm just going to leave it and jump between my scenes because that's what you're supposed to do anyways. Alright. That right there. Alright. So, if you guys got anything you want to talk about, feel free to do so. Alright. Also, I can jump down here and do Linux if we need, any of this stuff you guys want to see. You guys let me know. Other than that, I am working in my other window here to get stuff set up the way that I want. And the next thing I need to do is to pull out all these Confluence documents around mounting this tool that we have called Weka. So we talked about Weka the other day. It is a monitoring tool. Sorry, it's not a monitoring tool. It is a high performance disk. It's based on NFS. So it's NFS and it's very fast. And I got to set some of that stuff up. Non-major nerd, how's it going? We are just kind of working slowly through everything here. Not trying to kill ourselves or anything. So we're going to be over in day 3, cluster operations, and mainly starting or restarting a node. Okay, that's full node checkout. And then I'm going to say duplicate slide. Node. Mounting. Okay. But yeah, if you guys have any specific things you want to talk about, let me know. I'm not, again, working too hard today. Just kind of doing things as they pop up, jumping between these two screens. I decided it was too much moving stuff around the other day. I don't want to move stuff around. I got multiple streams and multiple screens I can use. I'll just jump between the different scenes. So, I am going to make a new slide, apply a layout, and say make sure this is not the one you guys see. Good, good, okay. All right. So, what do I want to check here? Yeah, it's funny. My voice was just fine. And then right before I did this, I started sneezing. And now my voice is all tore up again. So, wonderful. I guess you guys will just have to look at the closed captioning to hear me. Alright, where am I here? Node checkout. It's going to be... Alright. Node work. Let's see. Maybe I don't need that there. Get rid of these. Maybe go look at my other notes. So many notes, guys. So many notes to look at. Nice. What are you working on, non-major nerd? What kind of home lab stuff are you going to be doing? Or what are you working on with that? We have a fair number of people that run something in their home lab in our Discord. Although, you know, we have labs and there's also a lot of free stuff online you guys can use. But, yeah, the main thing is get your hands on something. Get your hands on Linux, at least at the command line, some amount of time during the week. I would say, you know, no less than 20 minutes a day. Getting in the command line and knowing it if you want to do this stuff professionally. So, I need to come back over here. Werewulf Slurm. Labs. Connecting to all the systems and doing their inventories. So I guess I could do that real quick. Let's see. Etsy Ansible hosts. Let's go check that. Yep. And then Etsy genders. If you guys have never played with the concept of what's called a genders file. What is a genders file? So if you've never used genders files, they are used in, let me pull this up real quick and go to we switch over here, and here's what a genders file is. If you go to, it's for pdish. Pdish is a pretty good little, let's see how good they're. Yep, so pdish, there you go. And here's how you make a genders file. And then what you can do is you can hit different information. So you could like hit all of your nodes with an update command. It's or an uptime command, and it's very similar to how, it's somewhere between how Bash will do it and how Ansible will do it. In that with Bash, you have to have a script and then, a list of files, and then you write your own little loop over them. With Ansible, you have to have an inventory, right? But with genders files, you can hit all of your servers just by their names. So if you have nodes as one of your, we tend to use like compute or something like that, but you can see all the hosts and all the groups and all this stuff like this with node attribute. So I'm actually going to use some of this. So cat etc genders will show me everything in my etc genders file. pdish is etc genders. And I swear I have the inventory somewhere else now that I'm looking at this. So I gotta look and make sure I don't do the inventory somewhere else. Yeah, that shouldn't be too bad. Okay. Yeah, it don't sound too good. So this is what's funny. I was literally fine. I sounded fine. Talked to the wife like 30 minutes ago. And then I just had a sneezing fit, and now I sound like this again. So, yeah, great. But I figured I'd hop on. We'd sit around and talk. We're looking at some just different stuff with inventories and looking at, I'm over here in a different man. Yeah, right. I didn't sound like shit until a few minutes ago. And then I just sneezed like all day. Well, it was for the last 15 minutes I was sneezing. And now I sound pretty bad again. So, maybe we'll cut it short. But I have found while you guys are around, I work a little harder. So, I decided to try anyways. Just hop on and start working on stuff. So hopefully I don't sound too bad. Admins are going to go. And then All right. Oh, nice, Colchis. Have you... So, if I could propose, while you're waiting for your tool, we do have a set of labs on Ansible that, if I say so myself, are pretty good. And if you guys want me to start off and do some Ansible, I will. We did 1 and 2 the other day, so I think most of you can install it and get the host files working. But if you wanted to go through some of the other stuff, I'd gladly do it. You guys just let me know kind of what you're thinking of. For the most part, I'm just kind of hanging out in the other channel, other chat, kind of doing whatever, seeing what you guys are doing. Oh, and I'm missing chats. Hold on, I'm in the wrong freaking chat. Damn it. Can't see anything on the... Give me a second, guys. My fault. If I were to remake a home lab, what hypervisor would I use? I'm working towards getting a job sometime next year. Yeah, Leith, if I was redoing it all, my home lab, you know, the Prolog home lab has these 3 big, well, 2 of them are pretty big physical servers, and then I use XCP-ng. But if I were to redo it, I honestly might just make them each their own big Linux box, and then run something inside of them like this tool right here. And if you guys haven't seen KubeVirt, I'd probably just run KubeVirt on them because that's what Killer Coda uses anyways. And then, yeah, they've got... This is probably what I'd use if it were me doing it again. And then I would just be able to stand up machines as I go. And, yeah, I definitely do examine this a little more. But this is probably the way I would do it going forward. All right. Alright, so other than that, let's put that back to spinning. I'm going to go back to working on what I was working on. Could have sworn I had a lab on inventory stuff. Maybe I don't. Alright, and then I can go over here and check out this genders and just look up node attribute. There's Ranger moving around down there. Let's stop this from spinning for a second just because I'm using this window. Let's try something real quick. pdish -g compute. Let's say viz cat proc CPU info. CMD line. I see. Super Shriko, I'm not really fixing anything. I'm just kind of hanging out, and you guys are watching one of two screens of mine. I put it back on this one, and I'm just kind of not really working too hard and not really doing too much anything. I was just generically asking questions over here, and then just kind of waiting for, really, if anybody had anything they wanted to see. I can go into some of these different tools more if you guys wanted to see them. Got a lot of stuff I could do, but what I'm doing right now is just kind of working on different screens. It's kind of a co-working session for me where I can kind of look at stuff and check on what's going on to kind of see, kind of see what's going on. But yeah, if you guys have anything you want to see, or if you want me to go into any of the different, labs or anything that we've done, I thought I'd show some of those if you guys wanted. Really, I can do pretty much anything. I'm just working on another screen while I'm sitting around. Is Elk Stack and Grafana does the same thing? No, they don't do the same thing. Elk is Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. Elasticsearch allows, and OpenSearch is kind of the one that came from it, but it allows you to just kind of chuck data into it. Logstash also allows you to just throw logs at the Logstash tool, and then Kibana is a visualization for it. So they don't do the same thing. They are different. Grafana is just the end piece of visualization. Grafana, to do the same thing as Elk, needs something before it. It needs Prometheus or InfluxDB or some other type of tool. Loki is another one. Graphite is another one, but it needs these tools before it as an aggregator, and then before that it needs something to send data off of your system or to collect data off your system. So no, Elk and Grafana do not do the same thing. Elk is an aggregation, logging, and visualization piece. Grafana is just a visualization piece by itself. It does other things if you let it, but so let me go grab my genders file here in my system. It's like the more I move stuff around, the less this is working out for me. So let me move this, I guess, over here. Keep moving everything around. Let's go with this. Viz. C. Excuse me. Let's duplicate that slide and then come back over here. Cat Etsy genders. Yeah, Killa, I don't know if I'm doing better. It was funny. I was talking to the wife like an hour ago, and I was fine. And I got off the phone with her, and then I had a sneezing fit, and now my voice sounds like this again. So, I'm just working on cleaning up my presentations and getting more stuff into them because there's just, I think, a lot of value for the people that are going to be running the system when we turn it over to them. So I'm doing that, and then if anybody wants to kind of hang out and talk shop, I will. If anybody wants to see some Ansible or Linux stuff, I'll show that. But other than that, I'm just kind of hanging out and seeing kind of what's there. So you come back over here. You guys are looking at the same genders file information that I am. And then this next one is just let's see, new slide. Check genders to check out the cluster. So the way you might use this tool is you would use like pdish as they show there, and then the name of the group you want to check. So whatever group you have. In my case, I'm going to use the group viz, and then say like uptime to get information. And then let me widen that up so it looks a little better. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to kind of describe it to you a little bit, because while I can't show you it, I can kind of tell you what I'm working on. Let's check out the cluster by group. And then let's say duplicate slide. That wasn't good. Nope. Duplicate side. Hello, I use Arch, by the way. Project 44. What is your favorite Linux ISO? I use Arch. Clockster, I do a whole bunch of different types of Linux, but I'd say my favorite right now in my home lab is probably Rocky. I'm using Rocky 9.4 for everything. I use a fair amount of Ubuntu, and I used to use a whole lot of CentOS. Professionally, though, I use almost exclusively Red Hat. And I only use the other tools when like a client or somebody that I'm working with needs it for the most part. So I guess right now my favorite Linux is probably just straight Rocky because it works well. I would probably be fine with Alma. Alma we built in the home lab here a few times and it was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I just Rocky is built by the same guys that run. Let me show you guys this. So CIQ runs Rocky, but they also run a bunch of other tools. So they use Rocky Ascender, Werewulf, CIQ Bridge, Fuzzball, Ledger Pro, and Aptainer. And the clusters I've been building have run Rocky, Aptainer, and Werewulf. So when we're using this many things from them, I've been kind of just using them a lot. So hopefully that answers your question. That's kind of what I've been using them for. I want to just check out the cluster by group and then genders to verify. Duplicate slide, genders with pdish to compare. So get rid of that. Go over to my other thing here and do a pdish viz uname-r. Okay. Let's say we were So sometimes when we check a bunch of nodes to make sure they're all the same, like, for example, real quick, if we go here and I jump to this, and then I go hit all my nodes and maybe do a uname-r like this, and we're just going to see that they're all the same kernel. We're doing what's called a sanity check. Are all the nodes good? Are all the nodes healthy and responding the way we want? Rocky 5 is not healthy right now. There's something wrong with this node. So I need to go fix that because, yeah, somebody was mucking around with this earlier and they really fucked this node up. This node would not come up earlier. So Rocky 5, he is in a bad spot. So we're going to force him to shut down all the way down. I know you guys can't see this, but then we're going to bring them all the way back up. We're going to go check all the nodes and make sure that they're healthy again. Alright, he is now hard down. We're going to start him. We're going to make sure that that node comes up right. Yeah, Robdom, I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. I was looking earlier, and there were a few devices that were not up, and Rocky 5, I rebooted the other ones, they came up. Rocky 5 looks like somebody managed to do something to it, probably maliciously, so that it won't come up anymore. And that's fine. Look, we're in lab environment. People can do that. But if we have too much malicious stuff like that, we're probably going to shut down the labs. I'm going to be like Dave Chappelle's show. I have to say Dave Chappelle's show because he was making fun of P. Diddy, and I don't want to be like, oh yeah, that P. Diddy show. Not right now. Yeah, I mean somebody obviously did something to this on purpose. So let me see if I can't get it to come back up. So give me a second here. Oh man. Yeah, Robodom is definitely part of it. It's definitely part of why we can't have nice things. Hold on. I need to find... Yeah, we'll just leave that one busted for a little bit. That's fine. I don't have a whole lot of time to troubleshoot around on it. But yeah, 5 is definitely busted now. All the other ones are still the same container image. But 5 is not coming back up. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. I will noodle around with that later. Here. There we go. All right. Hey, AD Quartz, how's it going? We are Not working too hard. You know, that's kind of my theme. And I'm doing a little bit of Linux for you guys. I've got a node to fix on the Werewulf side now. Something happened to it, something bad, so I'll have to work on getting that fixed. And then I am co-working on some other stuff that you guys can't see. That just has to do with like operations of the system and bringing the system up and all that good stuff. So, all right. So, we can also do maybe one more over here and say let's see. I can say Ansible against just CX01 and 01. Let's see, compute. Huh. Let's grab CX01 from Etsy. Ansible. Hosts. Sorry guys, I gotta fix something. Looks like there's literally 2 nodes missing. That is one of the craziest things I think I've ever seen. I just had 2 nodes missing for no reason. It's ridiculous. Alright. Ridiculous behavior. All right. The Kubernetes is Kuberneting. Yeah. Yep. Anything like that. Me and the wife joke around about that a lot. Yeah, had to make sure the chocolate was chocolating, and like, yeah, we do that with pretty much damn everything. Is the truck trucking? Is the yeah? We're always doing that crap. Yeah, that's funny. You know, it's funny. I don't have it on the right screen for other people to see what you're talking about. Hold on, let me go back here. Excuse me. You guys can see what each other are saying on the chat now. Between the groups, between the Twitch and the YouTubes, you guys can see what's going on there. And technically, I guess I could bring on this one. I guess I could put the putty over here. Bring the putty in front. Yeah, so we could play on putty in here too if you guys want. There you go, boom. So, hey, thanks for the follow, Mohammed, Taha. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. We are not working too hard today. Oh, well, that's my theme, I think. But I am grabbing some information about different pieces of my cluster and training and putting those together. So day 3 is up to 42 slides now. All right. Plodding along. Hack smarter, not harder. Yeah, it's fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah, and for you guys that haven't been here before, mostly what we do around here is just talk about Linux, talk about getting into Shell, talk about ways for you guys to figure out how to get the job and get over into doing this stuff professionally. So that's kind of what we do most of the time. Just get you guys having fun with it. And like, we all do this stuff for fun, but can we also make money at it? You know, that's the question. And that's what I think a lot of you guys can do if you really wanted to. So, I'm not going to show these guys how to add to this. In a larger group. Certain nodes. Okay. Good, good. So, what else do we have? It's on the Discord. It should pop up for you guys. Go grab Discord real quick. The Oh, I think there's a weird, like, if you have streamer mode on, I don't think Discord will show. That's interesting. But if you turn it off, I think you can show it. No? There we go. So in the Discord, you can see the bot talking trash to people. The bot tends to do that. And then you can also see what people are posting about and what's going on around the different things. Looks like some people are down here studying, so that's good. You guys can hang out down there and work with them if you want. But all in all, that's what we kind of do around here. Get people down there. Get people working on there's a bunch of beginner stuff in here. So if you want to get some certs, if you want to go watch our Linux system administration course, if you want to go participate in our Linux administration course, there's a whole bunch of stuff here for how you can go do that. If that's something that's interesting to you. If that's not interesting, I say don't do it. I say go find something that is interesting. I would hate for somebody to be hanging out with us all the way to December and hate what they're doing, right? It's not the goal of this. The goal of this is to get you guys doing this stuff professionally, and a big part of that is finding something that's interesting to you, I think. So, all right, let me get that back out of the way. You guys can keep hanging out and doing whatever you're doing. Get rid of that file. Yeah, I'm a big fan of free courses, Robodom. I think free stuff is, one of the best ways to find out if something's not for you. Go do something free. And we're going to be in Raleigh at the end of the month for the All Things Open conference. Well, that's interesting, Kevin. I don't know. We have a conferences channel, though, down in the Discord if you want to post that. I think people would... I think there's probably some people around there. End of the month, I'm going to be in Hawaii doing some training. So, Hawaii, in the island of Honolulu. Honolulu? Yeah, I think that sounds right. Yep. So I'm going to be out there doing some training, giving training. I'm going to be training people. So that's always fun. Yeah, in fact, a big part of what I'm doing right now is putting together, while I'm talking to you guys, is putting together kind of what's known. Some of you guys may be familiar with it, but some of you might not. In the operational world, we have things called runbooks. So people will build something, right? People will build a thing. The engineers will build a thing, and then they will build a runbook off of it. So see if we can find an operational runbook example. It looks like somebody's got something here, but let's see. PagerDuty has an explanation. PagerDuty is one of these. They'll put you on an on-call, and they'll send things from. You can use PagerDuty to send like alerts from Alert Manager and stuff like that. But then here's Document 360. I don't know how good any of these things are. Atlassian tells you how to build a DevOps runbook. Atlassian uses Confluence as their so they're a training tool. But I bet you we could find a free one out there. Looks like Microsoft Learn has some runbook samples for you, probably for their Azure products. But what a runbook is kind of like, a runbook is like, in those movies, or they do it a lot in like any type of movie where they're going to cast a spell or something, but they like have to pull out this big tome that's 600 pages wide. T-O-M-E. Tome. Anyways, they have to flip through to like page 400 to find the right spell. Well, it's the same thing with a runbook. I have no memory of this place, so I go and I spend time reading things. Killa, I've done some connections to Fortinet with Ansible in my career, but I would call my time in Fortinet very light. I've done some proof of concept work with it, but nothing heavy. 80 quarts. Try not to be in desktop support forever, so tough it out. Try and wrap my head around the Unit 2 SC Linux stuff. Yeah, 80 quarts. I just spend some time, turning it on, turning it off, adding services and seeing how that works, and hopefully that's good. Yeah, so runbooks are used for any kind of operational team, and they're really useful for people that are like on the night shift, and people that are, because like your third shift teams, your NOC and your security operations people, they're not always going to be on that late shift. They are working there to eventually hopefully move up or get skills and move out. They don't want to stay on that team. I know very few people who want to spend like 12 years doing the night shift. Maybe there's some of them, but for the most part, that's real hard for a lot of people. So because of that, those people tend to be the more junior people in your organization, and you want to have a good run book for them if you don't want people to be calling you out every day. So using run books. So now these are run books, but these are considered part of like Azure. Azure actually calls the things run books that remediate through your SOAR service, right? Security orchestration and remediation type stuff. But I want to see if anybody has. Let's see if Atlassian has a good template for us. Yeah. A little different. You do have processes and runs and stuff, but that's not exactly. It's not exactly what I'm looking for. I kind of think of it like a big operator's manual. Yeah, it's a good process guide for like, oh, Slurm is down. Let's go figure out how to turn on Slurm. Well, that didn't work. Okay, well, it says that I can go check this, and this, and then, oh, that didn't work. Well, got to call out an engineer, right? Like, run books are for operational people who are, relatively good at following instructions, kind of. So, give me a second here. Hold on, the wife's texting me. Excuse me. I think my voice is already sounding a little better. Maybe not great yet, but it sounds better than it did. Oh yeah, that's a problem, Kevin. So Kevin brought up a good point. An employer has a whole bunch of them, but they haven't been updated, right? So one of the things, anytime we do any security operations or security, what we call SOP, standard operating procedures, or security operations procedure, whatever you're using SOP as in that case, a lot of times we'll have a last revision. So the last time it was revised and brought to like our engineering board, and then you will keep track of that. You have to touch some docs. You have to touch every 6 months, and some docs can be left at a year. But if you have docs that you find that haven't been touched in like more than a year, you should be the one that raises the alarm, even if it's going to cause you more work. I tell people all the time, man, like, I look at stuff sometimes and I would go, this is going to cause me so much more work. But then I realize, but it won't be in the middle of the night. It'll be right now as I go fix this freaking doc that's busted again or not working, But once I get it right, that saves me all that, even if it's like a 4-to-1 ratio. Like, I'll spend 8 hours now, but I'll save 2 hours in the middle of a Saturday night. And guess what? That's worth it to me. So, you got to think about when your time is worth it to you. My time during the day is already sold to my company. I'm a salaried employee. If I work under about 50 hours a week, that's all it, Yeah. Robodom, and even better than choosing your battles, choosing where you pick to fight your battles. So some of you guys know I was an infantry guy. Let me ask you something that I know you can't Google, but I want you guys to think about. What is the difference between an ambush and a raid? An ambush and a raid. By the way, I was both an expert and a combat infantryman. You can go look up what that means if you want. U.S. Army. The Lotus Notes. Oh my gosh, that's funny. For the folks who look to move up from entry level, working on writing skills, write how-to docs on almost everything, mark down in a repo. That's smart. Yep. Yeah, Kevin, I was showing them the other day for people that have not seen it. Like, there's a really awesome, if you do Markdown already natively, Overleaf. And Overleaf has a site that you can go and use for free, or there's like a licensed version. But did you guys also know that Overleaf is open source? So you can run your own Overleaf. You can run your own Overleaf at home or in a lab. Traffic King, that's almost completely correct. It is correct in who is surprised. But there's a different point to it, and it's kind of what Robodom was saying about choosing your battles, but it's a little different than that. So, you guys want me to just tell you? I'll tell you. The difference between a raid and an ambush is in a raid, the enemy picks the place and you pick the time. In an ambush, you pick the time and the enemy picks the place. Or sorry, in an ambush, you pick the place and they pick the time. So that's the difference. So in a raid, they pick the place and you pick the time. In an ambush, you pick the place and they pick the time. So that's the difference between a raid and an ambush. They're functionally very little difference between the two of them. What you're doing and how you're perceiving them, how long you get to set up, that kind of stuff. But that's the difference. In a raid, they pick the place, you pick the time. Ambush, you pick the place, they pick the time. Fun, right? All right. Yeah, Overleaf is open source. You go download it. You can run it in your own system. You can kick your markdown up to it, and it will generate for you cool looking, like from your markdown, it will generate you cool looking stuff like this. You know, you just send your markdown up to it, and it'll it'll turn it into whatever your thing looks like. So if you had iterative docs that you wanted to keep publishing, Overleaf is a nice little option for that. So nice. Yeah, it's just a thought. You guys, I mean, nobody has to use Overleaf. I have some friends that use it for their dissertation work and their doctorates, and it's pretty slick. And they don't use it. They don't run it on their own. They just use the tool. But I've seen some pretty good stuff with it. So something to think about for you guys. Let me go grab some more water, guys. I'll be right back. Go back on the chatting here, in case you guys want to chat with each other. Grab me some water. You know what's funny about this, what I was saying about my allergies kind of kicking up again, is I didn't have any allergies all day, and then I went out to get some food, and I came back, and now I'm all jacked up. Yeah, Haplo, if you are already using latex, that's what Overleaf is. Yep. It's all latex. Well, but like latex is like a markdown light. So the main editor that I learned early on was MediaWiki, which is a different type of markdown, but that's the one I've probably used the most for documentation and such. Although I've been doing Confluence a lot lately, and Confluence is okay. All right. So, oops. I'm losing stuff over here. Okay. Quartz, you're getting better 5G on YouTube than Twitch. Nice. I think they're using different, I'm not sure what they're using right now, but yeah, Confluence is pretty okay. All right, hold on. I gotta add some more to my inventory stuff. So cluster operations. We're gonna start with inventory stuff, and then I'm gonna duplicate this slide, and I'm gonna do I'm gonna have one of these say cluster operations, duplicate, this will be inventory. And then after inventories, I'm gonna say starting a cluster from Bare metal startup. Alright. Doing the writing is the most important. How isn't as important? Yeah, I think that's true too, Kevin. I'm not a big fan of like prescribing exactly how somebody has to do something. I try to say like generally this is what we want, and then let them figure it all out. So Atal, you should consider UV light for your HVAC for your allergies. Yeah, Atal. Yeah, I don't know why. This just hits me like this time of the year, right as Phoenix starts to cool down finally, and like we finally just got out of the hundreds like the last 2 days. It starts to cool down at night too, and then it's like something just hits me with like I'm not sick. It's just the it's like I don't know. It's like allergies start hitting me or something. I don't know. Oh, nice, Kevin. Recently moved over everything to Podman. Yeah, I got to do some Podman talks here in a little bit, so hopefully that stuff's good. Haplo, you're back.
Oops,
resubscription.
let this lapse.
No, that's fine. I'm glad that you are back. Make sure you refresh your browser so you don't have to watch ads. That's always an important thing with that. So one of the things I got to do here, guys, is, well, I got a few things to do. But what I can do here is, okay, so Werewulf operations. Text, color, dark. Oh, you guys want a ranger check? All right, hold on a second. Let's go see how Ranger's dog's doing. Let's go pop over here. And then we got to go to ranger check. How is that dog? Look at that dog. He is sitting at a nice 72, 73 degrees down there. He is, look, he's got one of 2 beds and a little rug to lay on. He is almost 13 years, yeah, he'll be 13. Is he? No, is he already 13? I gotta look up his birthday. We have his birthday. We have his little birth certificate. Yeah, Ranger's doing good. When the wife's gone, I give him breakfast and I give him dinner. And I need to go check. I got a little sheet that I put on to make sure that I know that I gave him dinner. I think I already gave him dinner. But then I give him a treat in the middle of the day. And then I'll go give him a treat here in a little bit. So, actually, you guys let me know. Do you guys want me to go give him a treat right now? I'll give Ranger a treat right now if you want. We'll do. Look, I'll put it right here. I'll say. All right, we'll go give Ranger a treat. Wait a minute. I'm on the wrong one. Hold on. I'm on the wrong window, guys. I'm making sleep 2. Sleep 5. All right. Hey, thanks for that, Robodom and Cheeto Bandito. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you guys. Let me go give Ranger a treat real quick. He senses the treat already. All right, hold on. Hold on. watching Ranger down there munch. That dog. Ranger knows the word treat. He also knows T-R-E-A-T. So I always have to spell it T. And that's how me and the Ranger do it. Or me and the wife. That's how we say treat, so Ranger doesn't know. Alright, so. Yeah, Ranger's too clever. Alright, so what I need to do is a Werewulf overview. And then duplicate slide. Werewulf operations. Duplicate Werewulf containers. And then Werewulf images. Ranger was actually the one to redeem the treat alert. That's pretty funny. Yeah, Ranger probably would if he could. He's a pretty good dog. I'm gonna go drop it back on chat so you guys can see. Also, you guys can see what Nightbot's saying over on the Twitch side. You know, we're just a group of Linux engineers that want to get you guys doing this. If you want to start and be a junior, you know, we've got tools for getting you in there. If you're more senior and you want to help people out, that's another thing you can do, right? And then you guys are always welcome to hang out down in the Discord. So let's see how many slides I have on this one. 33 and 44 and still and 70 over there now, so that's good. I'm slowly working my 70. What did I say? 33 and 44. and 44. Slowly getting there, guys. ICQ, you're here. How's it going? You guys support me just by hanging out. Nobody has to do anything except buy the book. You have to buy the book. I'm just kidding. Nobody has to buy the book either. I actually probably get asked that more than anything. The book is more for you guys, like for the people that want to get better at the hands-on stuff, and maybe you struggle with it, and you're like, hey, how do I go and learn this stuff better? The book kind of helps you to think through some of the stuff you're learning in these labs. That's it. That book's not, it's not required. It's not like required reading to kick it. It's just for people that want to do that kind of stuff and get into that. Nobody has to do that stuff. All right, so I'm at 70, 33, 44, and 8. So I am done with 1 day's worth of slides now. Killa, what are they trying to get you to do on this webinar? Are they trying to get you to spend money, or are they trying to get you to get like a cert, or are they trying to get you, like, what are they trying to get you to do? I am ambivalent towards Fortinet. I don't have any good or bad thoughts on them. I think I've used them. I've seen them used professionally. I haven't, like, managed them myself. I was playing Brotato a little while ago too, guys. That's for sure. Oh, nice, Killa. Nice. All right. Let me try to work up a few more slides while we're sitting here talking. If I go back to, so in day 2, we're talking about Werewulf images. New slide, change my layout, and one of my image things will be so current images, image locations, editing images, editing container in images, copying or deleting images. I might say, let's see, setting, oops, new image, setting, on a node, verifying a container and image on the node. Killa, yeah, thanks for the gift of the 1 month sub over to ICQ. Hopefully that keeps IC from having to look at any ads. Make sure you guys refresh your browser so it doesn't mess with you too much. I definitely appreciate you guys. You know, you keep me motivated and stuff. I know I'm not working too terribly hard right now, but we're getting some stuff done. So I'm going to hit Control R on my other screen that you guys can't see, and that's going to let me go search back for container. And then I'm going to hit Control Shift R to go back through and look for where we set a container on a node. And if we didn't hear it, maybe we did on the other one. Oh, maybe I'll do that one on the other node. Give me a second here, guys. Boom. Okay. Edit copy verifying something. Verifying is current image and old image. That's what I'm messing with here. Alright, hold on. Gotta darken this up a little bit. Alright, what am I missing over here? Missing some kind of thing. Yeah, ICQ, what have you been up to? I know you were looking for work, weren't you? I'm pretty sure that's true. Saying hi, I'd watched anime for a few days. What anime have you been watching? I just finished Mashale, Magic and Muscles. I thought that was okay. Mashale, M-A-S-H-L-E. It was about Mash Burn Dead. It It was okay. My brother told me about it, and I was like, I'll give him a shot. I'll give him a shot. Yeah, I laughed. I had a good time with that one. Where he's like, I'll just bury you if you give me a hard time. And he just keeps burying the guy. And he's like, no matter where you are, I'll just bury you again if I need to. It's pretty funny. That kind of cracked me up a little bit. All right, I need to go on this node. Actually, history. I container. So I gotta check something real quick with Let me go look at my commands. Shit. All right. I missed the. Hold on. Sorry, ICQ. I haven't even been looking over there. Well, new ones are spottable from cover. Grandpa and Grandpa turn young again, like from this year. Interesting. Yeah, ICQ. I've been having a hard time starting new ones because, man, it's like this weird. There's this weird gap in anime where like things will make it 1 or 2 seasons, or there'll be 1,400 episodes. So, like, I tell people I finished Naruto, and Naruto damn near fucking killed me, man. There were so many fucking episodes. There were like 800 plus episodes when I watched it. Yeah. ICQ, I'm fine. It's like some kind of allergies or something. Yeah, but in general, I'm fine. I just have to, alright, Werewolf images. I'm also going to cheat a little bit and do Werewolf kernels. Yeah, let me pull up these other chats I got here, because I'm not seeing too much. You're fine, ICQ. No, I was gonna ask you if you had watched Solo Leveling yet. That's one of those ones though. I hate just watching a first season of something and then not having any more to watch. So, but that one was good. I thought that one was fun. Thought they took in an interesting direction right at the end. You always wonder how those are going to turn out. Do, 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 do. All right. Let's see. Format, text, change color to dark. All right. Oh, an episode only takes a few minutes. Yeah, I can't I can't do a lot of the skipping of things. So nice. Okay. Let me keep going with what I'm working on over here. So we can look at the kernels. Let's check everything on a node. Kernels goes there. This thing's up to 37 slides then. Okay. And then werewolf images. But where do we check out a node here? I have Transmission, Plex, Firefox, Sterling, Podman, Portainer. I don't even know what Portainer is. Nice, Kevin. Yeah, so you have all your services on there. Are you running those on a separate system, or are you running them on the same system you're on? ICQ, you're moving for your job. So, I know you were, looking, but I didn't know if you had found anything. And then ICQ, are you looking more in the networking side or the system side? I have to ask that because I can never remember what people are looking for. Let's go here. I think this is, oh, you guys can't see that right now. I want to look for removing empty lines. Yeah, I don't want. Oh, you want to do security ICQ? Nice. Well, there's definitely a lot of room for that out in the world. I am gonna do images, kernels. Ha! ICQ? Yeah, but it looks like IceQ. That's fine, I don't care. I can call you Ice if you want. Let me make a new, duplicate the slide, move it down here, call Werewulf nodes, and just say node settings. Move this thing off to the side. Yeah, Kevin, I try to show the guys a lot of times that security is basically all of our jobs from the blue team side of things. We need to know kind of what's going on in our environments. We can't just like if I trusted security to actually secure anything, my Linux boxes would all get compromised. It's still on me. Like I tell people all the time, one of the reasons so many people leave security is that they find out that they don't get to actually do any of the work. They get to like do the reporting and the auditing and the complaining, but they don't actually go fix anything. And a lot of people leave security for that reason. They're like, this is too boring. Like, what the hell am I doing? Like, what the heck? So, all right, so node settings. We can see everything that's going on. I think I'm missing the kernel part of this. So let's grab. Kernel has a lot of info in it, so kernel has a lot of info. Node settings, kernel only. All right. Managing running platforms, even if just the security angle is a different skill from writing up risk findings. Oh, 100%. Yeah, Kevin, I tell people all the time, you gotta get your hands on this stuff and build it. I've worked with a lot of security people over the years who they don't know the first thing about what's going on in a Linux system, and I'm like, well, how are we supposed to, I mean, unless we're just following stuff off like, you know, the internet, how are we actually figuring out what's going on here, you know? So I tell people to try to be a partner in what you're doing. Try not to just be somebody who's there, you know. Try to be somebody who's actually figured out how to work with these tools that you're in, you know. Yeah, Kevin, in small companies you do end up wearing more hats, that's for sure. Yep. Alright, so node settings, kernel only. I'm going to show how we set the kernel. Kernel args only. Kernel args only. So setting the kernel args. Setting kernel args is an important skill if you're building systems for sure. Oh yeah. Kevin, one of my buddies just left Qualys. He was their like director of the Americas for all of sales engineering. He just left Qualys, and he's a CISO. No, he's not CISO now. Is he a CTO now? I don't know, but he just left over to a new company. In fact, I'm trying to get him to come talk to the group by the end of the year. I need to get time with him. I told him once he gets settled in, I'd like him to come talk to the group and just talk about, you know, because he's been a security guy a long time, so get that. Yeah, so kernel args kind of looks like this. So, so we'll list all the nodes in this cluster, but then let's split it down to just like Rocky 9, let's say. So we just want to see Rocky 9, so we'll clear this real quick. So just show us Rocky 9. Here's our Rocky 9. And here are the kernel args, right? And we can pass any arguments we want to the kernel, and they're gonna change the behavior of the kernel as it comes up, right? So if we were to go to Rocky 9 and do a cat proc CMD line, we can see this was how this system was actually called. These were the kernel args that I gave inside of Werewulf, but there were other kernel args that came up as it was built from the system. So its ww init container is here. This is how we provisioned it. Here's its system right here. Here's its init runtime. So the runtime is always needed. And then we should have the kernel. I don't see the system. Maybe that's the compression for the kernel right there. I'm not sure. But here's all of the different pieces. And then you see the few things up there that were mentioned. Quiet, crash kernel, VGA1, name a scene, whatever. And you can set a bunch of stuff for behavior of how the kernel goes. It's off screen? No. It's not off screen. It's right. It's on my screen. I can see. Can you guys not see that? Looks like it's right in the middle of my screen. Not in the middle, but in my presentation, it looks like it's right there. I'm sure those parts are completely irrelevant to the discussion, though. I mean, I can move it over an inch if you want. But that doesn't, it doesn't matter. Okay, so these characters are now there. But again, that's what matters is, so we got an init RAM FS and then a kernel. Those two things have to be given here. Our kernel is probably just coming in through probably the system here as being unpackaged. And then our runtime is here. Yeah, and then the system boots up. It starts its temp FS, and then it starts the system running. We have all these other values that are also set as part of one of our Rocky boxes, and we can set different values like the container name and any profile information, and then we can actually set, there's custom tags that we can also set. I don't have any custom tags set on here, but in my other cluster I do. I actually have a tag called node type, and then the node type is like landing zone and web application firewall and compute and some other things like that. So I'm going to do something on this other system. Node list -a grep -I for tags awk print $2 sort unique. Oh, I need to grep node type and then awk2 and 4 and then sort unique. Okay. All the additional tags that exist in our system. By the way, guys, I'm going to have these guys watch my presentation. I'm going to talk through it. And then they're also going to do every single thing that I show them in the lab. So, like, while I'm making them look at this stuff in my presentation, kind of like I'm showing you guys, I will also then turn around and have them do the work too, because I want these guys to have all their hands on that they can with this. You've got runtime overlays and system overlays. Those are all in var lib werewolf by default. Oh, not in this box though. So in overlays, there are these overlays that get applied to the server as it's being built or as it's coming up. Because you remember, Kevin, I've had a lot of a lot of fun with web application firewalls over the years, especially with the certificate management and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's always fun. And there's a nice little diff command, which I think is diff dash. Hold on, let's man diff. I want to say it's dash s. But I might be wrong. Hold on. Start with a file when comparing directories. That's not what I want. I think I need... for sure dash capital R, which is recursive. Right? And I don't see... hold on. I don't even see that. No, it's just lowercase r. Okay. So if I pwd in here, clear pwd ls, and I do a diff dash r on wwinit and wwinit dash lab, it should show me what's different between them, right? And I can see, you know, what I changed, what I deleted, what I added. And I think that but I think you can make this look better. Yeah, I need to fix. There's another flag here that I don't use this that much. It's man diff. Let's try a Q in there. Let's do a dash Y. Probably don't want that. Right? It's fine. This one might be interesting if you're doing some other type of file system that's not POSIX compliant. In POSIX compliant file systems, we do care about case. But maybe you're dealing with some other bullshit and it's just attached to your system via Samba or even NFS over some cases. Lustre could be that way because Lustre could have Windows connected to it. So you could check that. I'm probably just going to stick with treat all files as text might be good. This is formatting if you only want to see lines from one or the other. But I'll leave this. We'll do this one because I think that looks a little better than this one. Yeah, maybe we'll leave a diff-r. All right, so I'm going to do that command over here real quick on my node. pwd cd to var www. Sorry, var lib werewolf, right? Overlays. And if we want to just diff-r on we could go find out how things are different. Just on Discord, like his voice exchange, so I can make my personal guide. Yeah, Ice, you don't have to pay me for anything like that, but let's do that on. I don't know if you can make it Saturday on the group. Maybe after the group we can go hop down in a channel and work on stuff. Because Saturday I'm still just gonna be hanging out because the wife's out of town. So we can do that. Yeah, I don't care. We can do something. Yeah. Let me grab. I gotta grab this doc that or this output that I'm doing, and I'm grabbing all this. Shit, I think I just missed. Yeah, I just missed the. It's kind of annoying when you just miss the data you need. So now I gotta go figure out werewolf images, and then we make a new slide. Go up here, change the output, different layout, comparing images. Oh, next Saturday is Christmas for you. This Saturday. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. Wife's out of town all week, so I'm just kind of hanging out. She's back east, hitting the states that she needs to hit for her. What's it called? Her. She's hitting 50 states before she's 50, and the wife is almost 48 right now. But don't tell anybody, like, don't let her know that I told you guys that. Because women never want people to know how old they are, right? So, alright, so, comparing overlays. These are overlays. Werewolf images, werewolf overlays. Alright. Werewolf kernels. Mum's the word. Yeah, don't tell her. Don't tell her nothing. I'll get in trouble. Well, my wife is the senior technician in the house, although she hates when I tell people that. She's been doing tech work longer than me. However, she's just been a help desk person the whole 20... God, how long? She's been like a help desk person for like 22 years. I told her she should write a book on being in help desk because I said it would probably be a popular book because people that have done tech would tell you that, you know, it's just in general, man. So, yeah, thanks for the subscription, Kevin. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you over on the YouTube side. Yeah, I appreciate you coming by. sometimes work harder than others. I'm just kind of messing around right now. But let me go to a node. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to say wwctl node list -a. So we'll say Rocky 9 -a. And then grep-i for overlay. So now there's his 2 overlays, right? So we see the overlays that he has. And there's a system overlay and a runtime overlay, and I always forget which one is being grabbed. So I'm going to SSH to Rocky 9, and then on that box I'm going to do a systemctl cat for ww client. And there's the client, and there's where he's running, Werewulf client. So I should see his PID, systemctl status ww client. And I should see that he is running and he's got some ports open or whatever. And it says that every minute he's updating the system, right? But let's see, is there a etc cd etc? Okay. That is the generic one. So I don't know. Varlib overlays, varlib provision. iPixie source. Okay, that stuff's all good, but where is... I wonder where this thing is configured. So we're back on Werewulf. Grep Rocky 9 from var log Werewulf D log. And he's going and pulling down his varlib overlays every one, should be every 1 minute. Yeah, every 1 minute he pulls down. Okay. Provision overlays. Those are the runtime ones. So the runtime ones are the ones that are sent every time. The other ones are not. Okay. So on my nodes then. Heard help desk and your ears perked up. Yeah. That's what the wife does. My wife's been a help desk person for 22 years for a school district. She's never wanted to move off of that, and she will be retiring at about 53 years old. She's got about 5 years left, and she'll tell you, she's like, I don't want to do anything else. And when she retires, like, she doesn't have to work now, but it doesn't make any sense for her not to work when in 5 years she gets a full retirement. Like, when you leave the school district, you start getting your 50% pay for the rest of your life, basically. You don't have to wait until you're 65 or whatever retirement age is, She just starts getting it right then. So for us, it's like, you might as well just stay and do it. And then she'll still be done at 53 and still have time to, do whatever, hang out with me while I'm working. Because I could also retire whenever I want, but I enjoy engineering too much, guys. This is fun. This is, while I'm talking to you guys, I am working on, actual stuff that I'm going to do for a client, I'm just doing it on a different screen that I can't show you guys. So that's up to 42 slides now. So I'm up to 40. So I'm at 70, 42, 44, and 8. So I'm not quite to where I want to be yet, but I'm doing a lot better than I was even this weekend. I was working all weekend on this too. ICQ, you never know. I mean, here's the thing. I wouldn't want to retire either. Like, I will teach. I will be a college professor until I die. or until I'm forced out because my mind doesn't work anymore. But like in December, I'll be 16 years of doing it. And I figure I've taught a little over 5,000 students. And my goal after 30 years will to have had over 10,000 college students. Not like I'm not including people I've mentored outside of it. I'm not including Discord or any of these other groups that I've, helped with over the years. I'm talking just people that have sat in a college class with me. I want that to be over 10,000, and it'll take me about 30 years to do it. So about 14 more, and then I could quit teaching if I wanted, but I'm not going to. So, because I want people to say, hey, I knew that guy and he made it better for me in some way. That's kind of one of the goals. That's my own personal goal, though. My goal here is to get you guys into doing this stuff professionally, and to tell you guys that you can do this stuff if you want to. So, all right, let me pull up, while we're sitting here, let me pull this up. And I'm going to get to that screen real quick. And I'm going to close that down. I'm going to say Google timer. And I'm going to set I'm going to set a 8-minute timer. And then we will rotate through these, and I'm going to go take a break real quick, stretch my legs, and then I'll be back. So, Robodom, you're in charge till I get back. Make sure people know about Discord. If anybody's got any questions, just ask them. I'll be wandering around in and out of here. So, I appreciate it. back. I'm back. I'm missing all kinds of chat, but that's okay. We'll just keep going. Oh. Alright. I'm fine with Het. Perfectly acceptable name. Het. H-E-T. Perfectly okay with that. Some of you guys know Het is just an anagram anyways. Het-Tanis. But if you guys want to know the origin of it, I can tell you the origin. But, alright, let me keep going with what I'm doing. Comparing overlays and Werewulf overlays. Alright, so there are two types of overlays. You run into two types of overlays. So, what are... So, hold on. Let's stop this thing from spinning. Werewulf overlays. Right? So there are system overlays and there are runtime overlays. So I'm going to make sure that we have in our documentation a new slide, and I will say apply layout. I'm going to grab this page that we're looking at here. No, Werewulf is a full stateless container image, but then the overlay gets applied afterwards to types of overlays. And I'm going to put a reference down at the bottom of this. I'm going to make it smaller. And I'm going to let it be its own thing. I'm going to shrink it down. That's going to be black. Hold on one second. I will be back to you guys here shortly. But I need to make this thing smaller. Okay. Can't remember name, bookmark. Yeah. Not the provisioning thing as well you mentioned before. So, yeah, Werewulf is the full... If we go to my system here, hold on. I'll drop you guys back in this one so you guys can see my system here. Werewulf is all of this. Let me show you guys what Werewulf is. If we just cat etc Werewulf is doing all of these things. This is its config. It's got an IP address. That IP address can be on one of as many interfaces. So you probably have multiple interfaces, but you're probably going to have one be your provisioning network in a cluster. And this is the information about that network, right? Then Werewulf this is how it's running. It's port 9873. Are we setting up security like with certificates and stuff, which we could do? And then DHCP is enabled, so this is going to provide DHCP to those devices. So when those devices come up, they don't know anything about who they are. They start at range 50 and end at range 99. My devices that are running in the cluster, some of you guys probably have scanned and know that they're between 50 and 69 in the last octet. And then the TFTP is how it actually shares out. So varlib tft boot right here is actually the directory that we share out all the IP information for. Hold on. That is such a just loud sound. Jeez. Okay. What's the question? Admin network equals they can be different. They can be different networks. Your admin network is how you talk to your devices. Your provision network is how they pull their information. Those can be two completely different networks in a cluster. So it's actually interesting that you say that, because That is super important for me to do. So you actually just helped me out there. In my networking section here, I'm going to point out the management and the provisioning networks. So that's actually super useful that you said that. Let's not duplicate it. Let's just say new slide and then delete that one and then say provisioning network. And how do we know it's the provisioning network, right? So I'm going to go show that real quick. All right, and then ten three six. So we are provisioning over that network. That's very interesting to me. Okay, well that's good. It's good to know. So you have an admin net where you access the root and can do pings and whatnot. And you make a provision network where only the packages get provisioned so that you can download them beforehand, scan them full. So ICQ, they can be different networks. Yeah, there's typically at least admin and provisioning tend to be separate. I just found out right now that our cluster has the same admin and provisioning network, which by the way is fine if you have like 10 gig links, which we do. And then our backend InfiniBand network doesn't get slowed down any because all the provisioning is done over those high speed links. So I'm actually going to verify that right now by looking at the interface that's on the 10 dot network that I'm looking at. It's a big 10 network, right? And then I can go and I can say, okay, that big 10 network here, excuse me, is using this speed. And I can verify that with ETH tool on that network. And see that he is using, on that network, we are using currently right now, it's fiber. And he is operating at 100 gigs. So it's a 100 gig provision network with our administration. So when you think about it, right, if you're using SSH over a network, right? Yeah. If you're using like SSH over a network and you're SSHing to like 10,000 nodes, that is still, I mean, even if those are open connections and you're doing stuff, that's an extremely small amount of traffic. SSH sessions are not even, they're a rounding error off of the, maybe 10,000 would start to be something, but in general, like even hundreds of SSH connections are nothing. So provisioning this network at 100 gigs is pretty good. So 100 gigs, gigabit per second. And then our InfiniBand high-speed network for this network is the hell's the name of that tool? IBstat. IBstat and IBstatus show that we're getting 200 gigs per second on that network. So our high-speed network is 200 gigs per second on our InfiniBand. So we'll put that up here. And then actually our IPMI network, I'm going to check that right now too. Our IPMI is 10 dot, I think 1, and that's the same. All right. So I got that. Damn ads. Yeah, sorry, Optus the Dev. I thought you were one of my subscribers. Sorry. Yeah, if you get ads, just hold on and then you can talk after. I'm a lot better, but right before I started streaming a couple hours ago, I did have a big sneezing fit, and it just like jacked my voice up. As soon as I started talking, it was jacked. But yeah, I'm doing better. I'm just kind of hanging out and showing you guys some stuff and talking through stuff. So you guys are welcome to kind of just hang out. I'm not really working too hard, which, as you guys have probably noticed, is the theme of my theme of my stuff, right? Always kind of working as generically easy as I can. 43, 44, 43 on this one, 44 over there. Okay. I'm getting a good amount of sound like Optimus Prime. Nice. Yeah, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes I get accused of ASMR, which I think is hilarious because then I'll come in and I'll just be like, how's it going, everybody? Is it time for the Tuesday night special? We're going to work on some stuff and we're going to... What does no root squash mean? Yeah, so that's a good question. So, right here. The question is, what does no root squash mean? And actually, we changed this the other day on stream. What it means is this. If you're mounting home, opt, and labs on your system, root squash is the default. I need to make sure everybody knows root squash is the default. And what it means is this. If I SSH to Rocky 1, right? In Rocky 1, df-h in here, and see those 3 shares, and like we saw, they're set no root squash, so root is allowed to be root on them. If I cd to labs on one of these, and I ls in here, and here's some lab files that maybe somebody made, and I do a touch sum file, and I do an ls-l, do you see how sum file was made as the root user? But the root user, I just made it as the root user, but over on the Werewulf server. So watch, if I exit out and I cd to, I think it's just labs, ls-l in here, do you see how somebody wrote a file to my server as root? If we turn root squash back on, root will be able to write in here, but this will come in as NFS nobody, which is just this nobody. He's a big nobody. He's a big phony, right? If you remember that from the old Family Guy episode. It's a big phony. Internal interview for Kate's platform team. Thanks. You have some confidence I can do well. Yeah, Ops to Dev, I think you're going to do fine over there. And you're going to live up to your name, and you're going to feel great about it. My main thing that I would tell you if you're going to go in, just feel confident telling people, hey, that's a kubectl command. I would do something like a kubectl this, or, know your archetypes. Know what the major things that can happen. And then even if somebody says like, oh, how would you, do a Nginx deployment with scaled to 6 nodes and this and this and this and and you're like, oh my God, because you don't know exactly how to do that. And you say, well, what I do is I know that I can reference the command to deploy something. So for me, it's like I know how to paint with a wide brush. I tell people that all the time. Like, it's the same thing I do with all my patching. It's the same thing I do with all my systems engineering. I want to follow Pareto's rule. Pareto's rule is the 80-20 rule. And if I get better than 80-20, I'm good with that. But 80% of your errors come from 20% of your inputs, right? Or 80% of your problems come from 20% of your inputs. So the goal is, when I say paint with a wide brush, like, be ready to, like, answer just about everything. Look at how a goalie stands in soccer. They don't stand directly in front of the net. They split the difference between the two goal posts at whatever angle the person's coming in from, because those are the only two angles that somebody could possibly get that ball in there, right? You know, curving aside, right? And that is a thing, but that's not that big of a deal. So, yeah, you're going to be fine, ops to dev. If you've been working your stuff and you're getting stuff going, I think you're going to be golden. So, all right. Yeah, I just wanted you guys to see this, and then I think I might have deleted lab file at some point, or somebody did. So, I originally had intended to use labs to give you guys work to do down in the Rocky servers, and I might still do that, because the question has come up, and I know this is important, is what do we do if something happens to Killer Coda? Like if Killer Coda goes away, or it's charging people or something, how do we keep you guys doing Linux without that cool free tool? And we've always worked around it before we knew about it. We worked around it, but yeah, ops dev, you're going to do good. I would spend some time, if you've got a few hours, I would spend them on Killer Coda, just doing some of their CKA stuff. Or if you know it's security based, do some of the CKS stuff. I mean, the worst thing you could do is pick up one last little thing that might help you, you know. So, something to think about. All right. Let me come back over here. On my other window, I'm adding this. Keep adding this. Let me see if I can fit this all on one line. All right. Yeah, ops to dev, that's the goal, right? Show you guys how to do all this stuff and show you guys how to get ready for doing it professionally. And people always make the interview, you know, harder than the actual job. You go and you get all armored up for this interview, and it's like the most challenging thing ever. And then the actual job is just sitting around twiddling your thumbs or whatever, you know, making sure a text file is still there on a web server or something. It's So you shouldn't have no root squash enabled, so that only true admins with local access have full root. ICQ, that's a way to think about it. Yes, you do have to think IC how you want your data to be accessed. 100%. So yes, IC, that is something for you to always think about. How do we access data? How is data being used? Do other systems come in that people could potentially be root on? Because you could be giving up a lot more power than you expect to, yes. But if you're in a controlled environment, you know all the devices, maybe that's something you can lax, right? And you can go this way. Or if it's just a scratch directory that's not that big of a deal, then maybe. But yeah, that is something you should think about. Yeah. So no root squash is a major security thing to think about. And like all things, there is a reason to have it on. Also, look, opt is read-only. So from these nodes, this is mounted read-only. So even if you're root, you can't write in an opt. So if you have a lab VLAN that's locked, you wouldn't have to worry. So VLANs are different, ICQ, because VLANs don't affect NFS. So if your NFS is connected, meaning at layer 3 you're able to talk to it, VLANs don't matter in that context anymore, right? Because if you're talking to it, you're talking to it over IPv4, right? Your IP layer 3. So whether or not the device is on the same VLAN is irrelevant at that point, because a router's already involved, because you have to route to get there. If it were for some reason hidden and you had it on a different VLAN and you didn't have a route to get there, that's different. So yeah, so the VLANs are separate. As long as you're going through as long as you're going through IP at the network layer, you should be fine. VLAN shouldn't matter. All right. Let's see. Well, it's definitely correct. If you can talk to something at layer 3, layer 2 stuff no longer matters. Well, it does matter, I guess, but once you are routed, so now you're routing to it. So if I can talk to something, like if I can ping it, I can talk to it. Have proper VLANs, you can only communicate with what is within the VLAN, unless specifically allowed to communicate outside. No, ICQ. If there's so the way you allow intra VLAN communication is by setting a route, and once a device can talk at layer 3, it can talk outside of the VLAN. That's all it takes. Now, if you at the VLAN level don't allow traffic to leave to get to a router, then yeah, sure. But the router is going to reassign the 802.1q tag to it and move it on to a new VLAN with no problems. Because routers can do that. So, yep. Alright, so let me see. My provisioning network is... I guess I don't need that right now. VLANs aren't necessarily behind, they're just part of frames, and frames are getting stripped off by every router every time anyways. Gotta remember, frames never leave the next hop, guys. Frames are always stripped at every well, switch and router. Yeah. Because the source address is always changed. So, yep. I don't know about Aruba specifically, but I know that's the general way that TCP/IP works. Yeah, man, I'm dying, guys. I mean, probably because I'm getting so much good work done, but... Alright, let me see. What else do I need to keep doing here? Mapping those and connecting to the gateways. Users and STIG. Users and connections. Ah, I have to set up, or I have to show... Excuse me. When nodes come up. No, maybe I'll do that over here in system monitoring. Software monitoring. We duplicate the slide and I'm going to do logging. Do it after alerting though. Logging. So logging of the system. Yeah, Robodom, I should be getting better, man. I think I'm getting better. Well, so I was fine all day. I talked to my wife right before I got on stream. But in between there, for about 20 minutes, I had a sneezing fit. And then my voice did this again, so... Yeah. We're not working too hard today, but I'm adding some logging in for... I'm going to show all the logging stuff that's happening in the system, and that should burn some slides up now too. So we're up to 72 total on this one. So my first day is very, very full now. In fact, one of the best things that could happen is if the first day spills over into the other 3 days, because I have 4 days. I have 32 hours of training to give. 2 weeks from yesterday, out in Hawaii for the project, and it's just going to be... Oh no, those things are in front of it. Hold on. I need to get the Twitch alert up front. There we go. Now you guys can see Ranger. Now if we get any follows, Luis Ferry, hopefully this stuff, or... I guess that could be iron. Anyways, hopefully this stuff's useful to you. Thanks for the follow. Again, I'm not even on stream right now, and we're not even like you guys can't see me, but you guys can still ask questions. You guys can still join the Discord and go hang out with. We're over 3,000 now, guys. Man, it's wild. VLAN traffic does not get routed. Ice. By definition, if you are getting routed, you are leaving the VLAN. Switches do not do routing. Switches only operate at layer 2, which is simply MAC. Switches do not do any routing ever. Layer 3 switches do, but now you're up to IP layer. You're up to network layer. Yeah, so... Yeah, Ice, you're going to have to check that, man. Once you turn on VLANs at layer 2, you will never talk between those two VLANs again until a router or a layer 3 switch gets involved. But once it's there, which is what I was saying, was once I can ping it, then that means there's a router in between the two. Oh, man. All right. Sorry, guys. If I was a dinosaur, I'd be a Cophosaurus Rex over here. So ICQ, as things go up, I'm not going to pull it up right now, but I'm 100% sure that if you're talking about VLANs, it's only at layer 2. And now at layer, down at layer 2, you can trunk everywhere, and you can allow multiple VLANs on an interface, and that's fine. But if a device is on a VLAN and it gets a VLAN tag added to its frame as it leaves that as it hits a switch, the ports on the switch block egress as any device tries to leave, or any frame tries to leave, that is tagged with the wrong VLAN frame. A switch cannot route. I'm 100% positive that a switch cannot route. I would bet my 22 years of networking on it. Switches do not route. Layer 2 switches, which is what we're talking about. Layer 3 switches do, of course. But at that point, you could have layer 7 switches. But when we talk switches and we're talking layer 2, there's no routing done at layer 2. Layer 2 has no knowledge of IP hierarchy at all. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could have a layer 3 switch, yeah. But that's layer 3, and then that's just a router done in hardware. Yeah, VLANs are layer 2. All right. So let me keep adding. So logging. So how does logging exist in my environment? So we got to show all the VLAN stuff. Yeah, so VXLAN it's joining two LANs together across a WAN, but they're still the same 802.1q tag. So the tag doesn't change because all you did was extend it. Hold on, guys. I gotta grab something real quick. So sudo-i to become root again because I keep timing out. Jug Pearl, we're not working too hard right now. We are just kind of sitting around talking, and I'm showing you guys some Werewulf stuff, and also sometimes we're over on this other screen where we're just kind of hanging out, and we were doing overlays earlier, so yeah, just kind of hanging out. All right, hold on, I gotta. All right, so Let's see, what is this? rsyslog. Yeah, Jug Pearl, the question was whether or not VLANs can talk to each other without a layer 3 device in between them, and I was saying they cannot. Because once you put that 802.1q tag on it, the VLANs cannot, they can't, they can't talk to different VLANs. Yeah, not without a router involved. Yeah. A router or a layer 3 switch. Yeah. All right. Hold on, guys. I'm grabbing a config. So let me grab. Okay, so hold on. Copy that in, and then come over here, and then cat etsy rsyslog.conf, and then say gather all this crap from everybody. Gather in all the crap, guys. That's what we do. We gather all this stuff. So we grab that, we grab that. All right. And then let's see. So how do we catch? Oh, I gotta fix the file format. PWD and then that. Snipping tool. Grab this. Oops, not what I want. Oh, rsyslog configuration, and then I am going to change the format, text, color. That, okay. Yeah, if it's the same VLAN, that thing should be able to talk to another VLAN. To the same, if it's the same VLAN, they can all talk. Yeah, I think that part goes without saying. All right, let's see nodes configuration. To Send logs. Guys, I've lost something. Hold on. What happened here? I had a thing earlier and I don't know where it went. So I guess I'm just gonna and I'm gonna say logging. I could have sworn I already had logging on this one. So now I'm kind of confused because I don't know where my logging thing went. Unless I put it in the wrong spot. Alright, well. Alright. Come down here. Alerting from the system. Logging. Logging config on Crux ADM. New slide. So logging in our cluster is everybody throwing on port 51. What's that port? N01. Let me go check this node real quick. Logging in the cluster. I think I see what happened. This needs to be changed back to what it was. All right. Would you have an NFS drive? So some machines are specialized for NFS. So it's easier to have an NFS device and then that device have all our JBODs, which are just a bunch of disks connected to it, and then that device is specialized for. Sometimes they're called NetApps. Like NetApps, a product people will buy. You can also just build them on Linux boxes and Storenators or whatever. That's from a company called 45 Drives, if you want. But the point is, yeah. So like, my machine can't have as many hardware controllers in it, and it can't have as many RAID controllers and other stuff in it as a device that's specialized for it. So I will have an NFS server, and that NFS server will do all the stuff, and it will do all that for all of my devices, and then that's easier to back up. It's easier to maintain and manage, and communications directly to it. So yeah, it's just NFS is pretty common, and then sometimes we'll have multiple NFS servers in a cluster, and then you can communicate directly to one. But then at that point, it's better to go to like Weka or Lustre or GPFS, which is a network file system that's designed to be what we call globally parallel, right? Like we can have everybody reading and writing to it at the same time. Well, if you dedicate a network for it, it becomes a SAN. Once it's got its own network, it's a storage area network. So that's always nice. So let's see. logging configs on there. All logs are generated into let's see. That's not right. Hold on. Shoot, I messed this up. No, maybe I didn't. Okay, hold on. Hold on, I'm looking in my environment. Okay, but where is... install Werewulf logs. Okay. Oh, shoot. Damn it. I messed up by clicking the button when I already had the one that I wanted. So that sucks. Copy. Nodes configuration to send logs. Oh, shoot. Generated log files. Even told the course the network try. What are you doing? Hold on, let me see. I have to reinstall Windows after NFS. NFS over network, but where are you forced to use that? That's no good. Yeah, I wouldn't think that they would make you use network or NFS from somewhere else. Yeah, that's strange. All right. Generated log directories, and then I'm going to say notice. Say notice the gateway devices, because that's important that the gateway devices are there. So then what do the logs look like? All right. I gotta go find that other one I just had. All right. Now, Daft Duck, you said a switch could do VLAN rewriting. Are you talking about a layer 2 switch or a layer 3? sure I'm not missing too much here. Oh, did my thing break? My thing did break. Alright, we're gonna go fix it. We're gonna fix it. Boom. There. You guys should be able to see my talking again. That thing does break from time to time. It happens. And we just go and we fix it. Up to 75 slides on this one. We are up to... Alright. Yeah, Robodom, yeah. That's funny. You know, what does that thing do? It probably breaks once every 2.5, 3 hours for me or so. That was the first time it broke today. So, I mean, it's not terrible. But we're getting closer. I'm also I'm doing on my presentations. I am at 75 of 120, 43 of 120, 44 of 120, and 8 of 120. So I am moving along well, except on the 4th day. I don't have a great plan for the 4th day, except maybe if I can just make the 4th day into just as much additional, labs and other stuff that these guys want to work on, Call that lab 1-1. And then lab 1-2. All right. Well, that's good. Yeah, no, it's. I think people get old when they don't have an inquisitive mind, Ice. So that's probably having a. I think that's a good thing, because I think people that like you'll notice as your friends and family age and stuff like that they're not. Yeah, I don't want to say they're not inquisitive. It is kind of that they're not inquisitive. It's just they don't really want to learn new things. They don't want to. I'm good at what I do, and it's like. Yeah, it's good to ask questions about stuff. What were they teaching you with the NFS over the internet, if you don't mind? Was it like were they teaching you something else, or were they teaching you applications? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's an application course. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Not application dev, just like running applications and stuff. Okay. Oh, like applying, like getting jobs, writing CV. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think writing CVs is a skill. I have examples of my resume up in the Discord if people need it. I also don't mind showing it to you guys if you guys want to see it. Must be paid actor. That's funny. Yeah, I tell you guys, it's hard to start from a blank page, so get something out there. Hey, can I show you guys something cool? I'll show you guys something. This was fun. This was something that we found out the other day. So I know not everybody's been here the whole time to have seen it. But did you know if you guys go to Excalidraw, which is a free tool, I'm going to wipe what's there right now. I'm going to reset my canvas, right? And then I'll back it out a little bit, right? And right here, there's this little button now. And this is a free tool, but it's also open source. So you could run your own Excalidraw, and you can also run Excalidraw out of, there's a VS Code extension, so you can run it on your own desktop too. But hold on, you can come over here now, and you can say text to diagram. And in my case, I wanted to say, like Werewulf runs services. I picked, let's just say, not boot P, but DHCP, what were some of the ones that runs NFS, and then it runs. It's like my mind's drawing a blank as soon as I go to do it. DHCP NFS. It's running TFTP, and it's running. I guess it can run some other stuff too, but that's fine. We're gonna say that I just want to generate this right now, whatever this is, and it almost always does like a top down. So this isn't great. But I could insert this into my drawing, and then I could go, well, that's okay, but I kind of needed this bigger, and I needed those things inside of it. So then maybe I get rid of all these things. Maybe, these little guys, because they're just in the way, right? Right, and then I move the, modify this however I want and figure it out. But the point is, you don't have to start from a blank page anymore. And you can use Mermaid too. So if you need to do Mermaid, this was something I had put in here the other day. And you can then add dependencies and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good little, like, how to just start with something. If you're no good at drawing, it's hard to start from a blank page. I'm not terribly great at drawing, but if I go, if I just want to maybe talk about system overlays or something. I haven't tried this yet. I haven't tried just dumping text in there. But let's see what happens. Oh, I have 9 requests left today, so I can only do so many of these. But let's see what happens with this. I kind of want to look at what this kind of draws like. That's interesting. Let's insert that now. Yeah, so that's actually, it went and pulled some information off the internet because that's true. And now this is actually nice for what I want to do. So I'm going to actually grab this and I'm going to use this in my presentation. So this right here is a good kind of like little, that old saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. This is a good kind of primer for me to start to talk about overlays, how overlays work in the system. So overlays, types of overlays, and then run periodically while the system is running. That's actually really cool, guys. That drawing literally just became part of my presentation. So under a slide called types of overlays, and then that drawing is, because that's literally what the text shows. Some run during boot and some run periodically, and then some are part of the www init process as the server's first boot, and then some are while the system is running, as long as the www client process is running actively as well, which I'll point out to them as we kind of run through things and talk. So that's super cool. All right. Let me grab, I'm going to come over here again. And I started timer with 8 minutes. I'm gonna walk around a little bit again. I'm gonna grab some water and stuff, and I'll be back, guys. Can it run in UEFI? Actually, it can. It can in UEFI or the older BIOS. Oh, nice. Shankar, thanks for becoming a member. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. Yeah, we are just kind of hanging out and not working too hard, right? I'm gonna need some of my AI guys to just generate a whole bunch of Scott's not working too hard today, like flowcharts. Where's hold on. We need to pull this up in front of everybody here. Hold on. AI. Where's our AI chat? Come up here. AI. I need you guys to generate a bunch of All right, there we go. We're not working too hard, guys. Streamer is back. Yeah. I'm back. Scatter. Go back to whatever other things you guys were doing before I got here. Well, actually, Robodom's kind of in charge of stuff. Yeah, ICQ. I keep joking around about how I'm not working too hard. I'm not working too hard, right? Like I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm not working too hard, but I am working. Like while we've been talking, I've probably gotten 15 plus slides done for my deck. I need to make 480 total slides, and that's okay. So that's my arbitrary thing, but I figured I needed about 120 a day to keep people in. Well, I have 32 hours of training to give over 4 days when I'm in Hawaii. So I've been just pulling massive amounts of information out of the system and turning it into these slide decks. Yeah. So then I'm keeping track of it and building out all my labs and stuff like that. So the labs are going to be a bunch of check type things for them to turn into their runbook. Yeah, run amucker. I'm lazy too, man. Like here's the thing. Like, guys, you gotta understand when you're an engineer. Here's the deal about being an engineer. If nobody's ever told you guys, here's the perks. I have not been late to work for 20 years. I can't be late to work. Bad traffic, Scott's still not late. You know why? Because a wizard and an engineer both show up whenever they want to. I can show up at 6 in the morning. I can show up at 9 in the morning. My boss looks at me, and as long as I didn't miss a meeting, there's no harm, no foul. So that's a perk of being an engineer. Now, I'll tell you a downside, right? Good thing, a bad thing. The downside is I work at least 45 hours a week. But that is at least. I will probably work upwards of 50, 60 hours on normal weeks, and I don't get paid anything extra for it. So I'm salaried, right? But for that, my management can pretty much call me whenever they want. But here's the thing. If my boss hits me up out of the blue and I'm taking a nap in the middle of the day, he doesn't say nothing to me. Because he knows, well, shit, Scott was getting all that other stuff done. Like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like it's, I don't want to say you're like above the bullshit, but it's like one of the nice things about engineering is as long as you're getting stuff done, people don't mess with your process. Which is one of the reasons why a lot of guys will do Pomodoro timers, because that gets them, yeah, Robno, I've done that my whole career. Like, now, when you have to go in the office, it's, you know, you got to be at least on your computer doing stuff, you know, whatever. But, yeah, the last 4 or so years, I haven't done, you know, if I had to leave work or do something, like, they know I'm going to get on from home. They know I'm going to do whatever. This is the loudest noise. That is so freaking loud. That thing startles me every time, too. So loud. Okay. Guys, I really like this, man. This is super cool. That you know, we could just we just take some data. I just took some data off the interwebs and I threw that in there and it did that for me. So let's just for fun, let's grab some other data out of here and see what other things might, you know, kind of happen. Or other things that might let's go find so that's all good. I'll probably add some of this info here that you guys are looking at. I might add some of that in there. But let's go find, let's say we wanted to find, hold on, syslog example, you know, and then instead of going to an image and grabbing in some syslog example. So I know how syslog works. I have it all set up in my cluster, but I want to visualize it. And I'm going to say syslog example port 514 UDP, right? And maybe, let's see what some things are going on here. Syslog example, yeah. Let's say that I grabbed this here. No, I don't want all that. I know all that. Okay. So I know all that. I don't want the format in there. Let's just see if I can describe it. Let's just go here. Let's mess around with this. We'll go down here a little bit. And we'll make a new one. We'll say text to diagram, and we're going to say nodes in my cluster send to a centralized head node. Send syslog, our syslog messages. We commonly just call it syslog, but it's been our syslog for a long time. To a centralized head node using UDP port 514, where they are then captured and stored in a local directory for each node. Let's see what this does. Another sign you finally became an engineer. You can eat potato chips while drinking coffee, and you don't give a... Yeah. Do you know what, Run Amucker? One of the highest... You guys are going to think this is super Chad. One of the largest considerations I have to whether or not I will eat something while I'm working is whether or not it gets all over my fingers. Do you guys know that? Like, I don't eat... I love wings more than probably anybody could ever know. And I do not eat wings because it takes me so long after to make my fingers feel like they're not... Yeah, but like... And my wife types a lot too, being help desk. So my wife actually, she showed me this method where when you want to put lotion on your hands, you use the back of your hands. I don't know if you guys ever done that. You put like a little bit of whatever on the back of your hands, like lotion, and then you rub it in with the back of your hands across your fingers so you don't use the front of your fingers. I don't know if any of you guys have ever done that, but yeah, it's maybe a few playbooks. Yeah. Wings are expensive. Don't get me wrong. Let's generate this. Let's see what this. I'm curious what this is going to draw, right? Yeah, that's. I actually don't hate this. So let's insert this. Let's say cluster node. UDP sends syslog messages. Head node captured. Yeah. So this would probably have to be modified here. And actually, head node would get bigger in this way. And then oh God, I gotta send them to the back so I can grab this other thing. Send backwards so I can grab this. Send to the back. There we go. Oh, I had him for a sec. Oh, whatever. Fuck it. I don't care. Yeah, coochies. Yeah, hopefully that stuff's useful to you, even if it's just that. But yeah, so the reason I knew that about lotion, by the way, too, was the wife. Gosh, you guys remember at the beginning of COVID when people didn't know a lot of stuff, but the idea was just wash your hands all the damn time. And it was like, man, I was washing my hands. Like, I'm not like a germaphobe, but I mean, it just seemed smart. Like, hey, there's water right there. Let's wash our hands. And like, my hands started to get a lot of like dried out. So yeah, the wife showed me that. And I was like, dude, this is the best thing ever. Cause now my fingers aren't all sticky. because you could clean off your fingers, but then if you clean off your fingers, then that defeats the purpose of putting on the lotion, because you probably washed all the rest of the stuff off. So let's modify this again. Let's grab this and on port 514 UDP, right? So we'll take this and that's no good. That's fine, I guess. So cluster nodes are sending messages, boom. And then there's also, can I grab just this thing? No, I can't. Okay, well, let's just cheat a little bit then and say this gateway switches, right? Gateway switches are also doing a thing. That's fine. They're also sending stuff that same way. No. Drawing. Boom. Right? And then in my head node here, which I'm going to get rid of that because it's bugging the shit out of me. I'll put the, let's say head node. That's fine. Yeah, actually head node will be whichever node is the head node at the time. So there's a cluster of nodes. And then he will capture and he will store the messages. Store in local directory. Organize by node. All right. I don't hate this. This is not, oops. Not terrible. That's not bad. I do like that they did the drawing like that for me, so that's cool. Directory for each node. Head node, make this thing a little smaller. Yeah, that's not terrible. That could be part of our drawing too, right there. I can always modify these things later, but that's in our drawing, actually, or in our notes, and now this one's going to be in there too. Right there. Boom. I don't think you guys can see the I just leave drawings all over my presentation, and then I just explain them when people look at them. So how does logging happen in our cluster? This goes first so that people can see that. All right, good enough. Yeah, Robodom, I might have not said, but yeah, you put the lotion, like you put on think of it as like on your middle finger on the knuckle, and then you take your other hand and you put like basically knuckles to knuckles, like you're doing like some kung fu thing, and then you just start rubbing your hands together on the back, and you can apply lotion anywhere like that, and you don't get anything on your damn hands, like on the parts of your hands you want to work with. It's actually brilliant, man. Like, my wife showed me that, and I was like, geez, man. I don't put a lot of lotion on, but, I mean, now I know how to without getting shit all over my hands. So, because, like, for me, and, I mean, I know this is going to sound Chad, but for me, the most important thing is getting my hands back on the keyboard. Because being at the keyboard, being at the command line is literally how I make money. So, like, that's how I make money at work as an engineer. Is, like, same reason I have two internets that come into my house, and if one of my internets goes down, the one that I'm wired into, I literally just jump over to my guest internet. that guest internet's also the one that people get when they come over. So you say, man, Scott, all your stuff works great even when everybody's over. I don't care. They're on a different network. My stuff's all on my network with its. I got like a $700. Oh no, it's like a $500 router for my home stuff, and then the one like on my little CenturyLink internet is the default one that came with CenturyLink. It's not. There's nothing special about it, I don't know. I think that shit's funny, but. All right, so I got all that stuff done. I got a good amount of stuff. Any Ubiquity gear? No Runamucker. I don't run any Ubiquity at home. I don't think I've ever run into Ubiquity in my career. No. What's is this the store, Ubiquity? No, I never. Nope. Man. License free SSL, that's good. Nope, I've never run any Ubiquity. How is it? Is it pretty? So I do want to get camera security in my home eventually. So I do kind of want to put some of this stuff together. But I'll have to shop around for a little bit. Is Ubiquity pretty good for that? I mean, obviously I'm just going to look at the... Oh, they got an AI. So they're going to probably tell you what... they're probably going to do some image detection and stuff. Nice. Yeah, well, I'm going to... I'll put in... Because, like... So I live at a T intersection, and there's a fair amount of foot traffic because I'm the back of my house is to a school, and my back of my house is to a road, and then that road on the other side has a school. So at 8:30 every morning and at 3:30 every afternoon, we have a tremendous amount of cars inside of my neighborhood, and that's fine. Like I don't care that people are here. I hear them all because I sit upstairs in the front of my house in my office, right? But I'm not gonna, I'm not like trying to like creep on people or watch them or nothing. I just kind of want my house to have a little more. There's a certain amount of deterrence to people, seeing a camera. There's also a certain amount of you can figure out what happened if something happens with it. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, I definitely want more visibility, especially like Ranger's getting old, man. Like Ranger can't patrol, like he goes out and he tries to kind of patrol the yard in the morning, the backyard, and I because he's a dog and dogs like to patrol and stuff, but man, I'll be honest, he used to patrol the yard like 8 times a day. Like he'd be out there checking stuff out, doing whatever. He does not go out very often anymore. He only goes out in the morning. Yeah, there's Ranger dog right there. You guys see him? He's almost what is he? I think he's almost 14. He turned 13 last year, I think. Somebody go to the VODs. Did he turn 13 last year? I forget. But I love Ranger. He's just old, man. He's a big dog and he's old, and he's he doesn't. We're just hoping he makes it to his birthday at the end of the month. So he's not like. Don't get me wrong. He's not sick. It's just it's hard for him to stand up and he's tired, and like he'll stand there and be all anxious for when we're eating food or whatever. But like you can tell it's like working his heart up, and I'm like, Ranger, calm down. I don't want you to freaking die while we're sitting here, So, but he's a good dog. Yeah. He's kind of big though, man. He's like 100 pounds. So, bigger dogs, I guess it's harder on him. He's never really had problems, but about a year ago he started doing this thing where he was having like some back problems when he'd stand up, and it was funny. Well, it wasn't funny that it happened to him, but it was funny that he was like vocalizing his stuff here, like he was making noise, but then when we took him to the vet, he was stoic. He was like, I'm a tough old dog. Don't you dare bring me to this vet. And he would not do it. So we had to get recordings of him here so that we could take him to the vet and show the vet the recording. Because again, Ranger, he was stoic. He was like, I will not in the face of this, Yeah, he's such a good dog, man. I love Ranger. One dog in a week is lifetime. Is how quickly. Yeah, they do age, man. Yep. Yeah, right. But you know, he's good. He's unconditionally just a good dog, and all the kids love him. My wife went out of town, so when she was out of town this weekend, my brother came over with his kids, and the kids just like to sit around and pet him, and yeah, he's good. All the kids love him. Everybody's gonna miss him, but all in all, he's a good dog. So that's yeah, that's where we're at. So oh, excuse me. So sorry for coughing all over you guys. Um, coughing all over while I'm talking. Let's jump back to our other thing here. You guys saw enough of Ranger. Um, let's go down to our lab here, and you guys have seen. Let's just do this. Control R, Ansible, and we can just go check what servers are up. I think Rocky 5 is still jacked, and yep, Rocky 5 is unreachable. So I may have to fix Rocky 5 in a unconventional way, because he is still trying to boot. Yeah, something changed on that box, where he is now trying to boot off of his hard disk. So somebody either went in and changed his BIOS, but that shouldn't happen because he's on a. I'm gonna give him one more reboot and let him have a chance at coming up. And then we'll go from there. You guys probably can't see. Yeah, I don't have this set as a source for you guys to see, but I'm rebooting Rocky 5, and we will give it a minute or two. Come back up here. Alright. See if that node is still. Nope. He's going to sit at the same screen here. So now I gotta. I might have to blow that node away, and so here's what we'll do. So we'll say Ansible. So no, we'll do Werewulf commands. wwctl node list -a for the node Rocky 5-a. We can see everything about that node, and one of the things that we can see is his hardware address right here. 1E43, right? This is his hardware address. Let me go verify at the networking of the device. That's his thing. Yep. So now I'm going to go ahead and force the shutdown on that box, and I'm going to power him down hard, and then I'm going to delete him and redeploy him. So this node, Rocky 5, is going to be completely brand new here in a second. And then we're going to set this discoverable. We're going to set discoverable to true. And we're going to reboot him in the cluster. I'm going to delete him. Delete that node with everything on him. And I'm going to... Oh, no. Let's do a new VM from the template. We're going to call him Rocky 5. And he'll boot in BIOS mode, that's fine. can have all those disks. Ah, so here's the thing. I can actually change his MAC address back to this exact MAC address right here. So I'm going to actually do that. So you guys see that MAC address that I'm copying? I'm actually going to drop that in here and use that as his same MAC address. So I have a alarm to let me know to take the trash cans out. So let's see next and create now. So let me give you guys. I'm gonna change the source to this so you guys can see it. All right, can you guys see that? Okay. So now we booted. We made a new Rocky. Actually, yeah. I should be making a Rocky 5 box. I don't know where he is. He should be coming up here in a second. Unless I spelled it wrong. Which I shouldn't have. We go to notifications to just make sure that, okay, we're creating him. Good, good, good. Go back to infrastructure. Watch the Rocky 5 box pop up, and we'll go to the console and we'll verify that he is booting and grabbing. He should grab as Rocky 5 his iPixie stuff like normal. So he should come up and it should say, hey, you're Rocky 5 right here. You should see it right about here when it comes up. Ah, no bootable device. Okay, hold on. 192.168.200.105 gateway. He tried to iPixie and he didn't get anything. Oh, hold on. Is he on the wrong network? So let me check one of the other boxes networks. They're on lab internal. Is he properly on lab? He is. He's got the right MAC. He's there. Yep. So why did he? Net zero. Try to do that. Net zero. That's all right. Let's go check here. Yep, network's right. He is up. Werewolf's running. And we should see that he is allowing on. Yeah, there's his DHCPD. So he's listening for that. And their network looks the same. Whoops, lab internal. So let's go make sure that on this box, on its networking, there's nothing funky going in there. Yeah, lab internal. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, that should be fine. That should be fine, because all the other ones are on lab internal as well. Okay. I don't know why. Yep. Lab's fine. Nothing wrong with any of that. This thing should just boot up and grab his network. Coochies, this is called XCPNG, and it's a tool for so Alltech. I'll tell you what, the problem is I know how to do all this stuff. I just don't do it in my home lab. So my home lab is much like the mechanic who comes home and doesn't want to work on his car anymore, so he's got a project car all the time that's always being worked on. That's where I'm at. Oh look, so it just took a second. Now he's up. That's weird. That's super weird because now he's pulling his Rocky 5. I didn't touch anything over here except go look to verify that it was on. That's real sus. Like this server was over here sleeping, and then it was like, oh, somebody wants DHCP. Why is he talking about DHCP? Because now it's booting just fine, and I didn't do anything. Yeah. So, no, it is funny. Yeah, the worst thing you can do is hit me with my own pontifications, right? I stand up on the soapbox so often I forget what I even say. Yeah. Oh man, Alltech. I used to do so much with like I used to work on S10s all the time. I still drive a Colorado to this day because I like mid-size. Like I have a 4-door truck. You know, I mean, it's not a big truck, right? It's kind of a smaller one. It can tow, but it's not gonna really tow anything over maybe like 3,500 pounds. But yeah, did someone say DHCP? Yeah. So now the node, you guys see the node's actually booting now. So then we come over here and we can rerun the Ansible playbook in the other lab. And that will still be down. You guys will still see that down for, oops. Make sure I'm grabbing the right thing here. But that one is still down, but he's coming up here. We see him sitting at his SE Linux for the relabel on his system, and we know that that's something they have to do. So now we wait. Oh, Ansible's my favorite scaffolding around hitting systems. My favorite scaffolding for just checking a bunch of stuff quickly is Ansible for sure. Ludicrous. Luda. He might have been more in my time than some of you younger guys. This will take a minute the first time. It doesn't get any shorter, but it takes about a minute or two. And especially if there were more nodes running, but you'll notice all the nodes are exactly the same kernel, because we're just checking a uname-r on the system. Luda! Yeah. I was around for Ludacris's. I'm not saying he's not still around. I'm just saying I was around when he was more popular too. All right, so Rocky 5 should be responding now. He'll have the same IP address that he's supposed to have. All of his other functional things are still good and still the same. So yeah, and if I'm missing follows and subscribes, I appreciate it, guys. I know YouTube has a different vernacular than the other side of things, but I appreciate you guys. You know, because you can spend your time anywhere, but you guys choose to hang out here, so that's kind of cool. And you guys are always welcome to kind of hang around. So look, we're calling the lab back to healthy. All the nodes in the lab are back up, but what I had to do on that node was delete it, but I kept its IP address, or its MAC address, so that the new device, this is a brand new Rocky 5 server, but since I cloned his Mac, which was just an auto-generated Mac, it was just a randomly generated Mac, he basically slid in place of the old node, because the way that Werewulf identifies nodes, truly the way most clustering systems work is they track based on the MAC address. So then you just know the MAC addresses of your devices as you plug them in, and it's super easy to populate them down the board, right? Since I'm doing virtual devices, I could generate them over here, or I could change it over here. I had actually considered just changing it here on the Rocky 5 definition, and then it would have mapped to it the same way. Remember I tell you guys all the time, everything we do is just a game of chutes and ladders. One thing points to another thing, points to another thing, and as long as all the things point the right way, you know, and the protocols are the same, then things work. And that's what happened. I don't know why it didn't work the first 2 times, but maybe it was just, I don't know, taking a while to, I don't know. I don't want to even speculate, but it worked when we rebooted it. So yeah. Yeah, some of you guys have been around when I talk networking, and I show you guys that, at the simplest layer, there's 5 parts that are needed for communication to occur. There's a sender, a receiver, a message, a medium, and noise. And those 5 pieces, if they're there, will work. And then I start to explain how the message is encoded on one side, so it's got to be decoded on the other. And if you want to encrypt it on one side, you've got to decrypt it on the other. And if you want to compress it on one side, you got to decompress it on the other. And these are all the things that we can do with a message. But from a basic model of communication, we build all the other things that we do, right? So maybe I'll do that. That's actually a good idea. I'm going to put that in my notes for a talk to give to you guys, which is we'll just start with communication theory at the basic level. And we will just keep spackling onto that communication thing. Like, I'll just keep backing out of like a Excalidraw as I talk, and I'll just keep adding more and more shit to it. What do you guys think? I think that would be a really good talk. I think that could be like a couple hours of just everything in networking and where everything fits to that basic model. I think that would probably help a lot of people. Because at the end of the day, what's networking? It's protocols, right? Protocols are rules that govern how communication occurs. It's a bunch of protocols, and as long as all the protocols are followed, everything's going to work. And if the protocols aren't followed, you go to networking jail. No, you don't go to networking jail. Shit just doesn't work. And then you get fired because you can't get things working because you didn't follow the rules. You didn't like to read the field manual, right? All right. So, man, I actually really like co-working like this. I don't know if you guys like it as much. I will pop back on stream and talk more. Don't worry, guys. Oh, and yeah, Coachies, I can definitely do more networking. A lot of times when I'm on, like I was co-working today, so I got a lot of stuff done, but I didn't focus on kind of like being here streaming. You guys can almost think of this as me not even really being here. This is just me kind of messing around. I'm not working too hard right now, guys, right? I'm not working too hard. Let's see if we caught any. Let's see if anybody did any stuff in the Discord. Hold on. Do we get any in the Discord? No, nobody did any yet. All right. Too many fun jokes in the Discord right now. So, all right, go play with that kind of stuff if you guys want. I'm gonna find somebody to raid over on. Yeah, lone tear runs down my cheek as I see the networking not being adhered to. I'm gonna find somebody to raid on the Twitch side. Let's go to our little end of stream chat. I appreciate you guys coming by. We will keep working on stuff. Labs are open for you guys. Discord has a whole bunch of stuff for you guys to work on if you want to get into systems engineering and systems administration. Yeah, let me go find somebody to raid over here on the Twitch. Twitch has that I'm following. Kai is on, so Kai is always fun. Sid is on. I love raiding Sid. If you guys don't know Sid, yeah, we got to go over to Sid. He's doing tech stuff, which is always good, but also when we get in there, we got to have a message of our raid. So I know for some of you guys on the YouTube side, you don't get those cool things, but we'll do Linux Rage, whatever that Rage thing is that we normally do. So, all right. So we'll go right over to him, and I will see most of you guys. I'll be back on tomorrow night, so take care.